What's going on YouTube? Thank you for watching this YouTube channel. My name is Matt. My company is called the DeRosa Group, and some of you guys are investing in real estate or want to get involved in investing in real estate while you have a full-time job. So today's conversation is about how to build a real estate business while you get a full-time job. My guest today, Mike Bonadies, has a full-time job, and that's awesome and that's okay, but he also manages 65 units worth of real estate. And so that blows my mind right there, because I used to manage 115 units for our company, and that was like more than a full-time job. And so the fact of the matter is, you must have a lot of systems and processes in place on how to do that. So I cannot wait to hear all about it. So Mike, welcome to the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So tell the audience real quick, like, give us like a 30-second rundown about your background, what you do if you don't mind, whatever you're comfortable sharing and everything like that. Give us like the quick Mike Bonadies background, and then we'll jump into how you're making all this work.
Absolutely. So again,
and I don't want to hear that you're working like 150 hours a week. Yeah. And you have to have peace and balance, everything like that too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
So again, my name is Mike Bonadies. I started off in corporate life, right? Came right out of college into corporate sales position with DeWalt power tools. So had a little bit of construction knowledge from that. Ended up going into a position with DeWalt where I managed the P&L for them. Learned a lot of my finance stuff in there. Then I ended up taking a work from home position with an industrial electronics company. Ooh. And that's kind of what freed up a lot of the time.
Write that down. So, work from home position. Okay, cool.
So been doing that for the past 3 years. I'm a training manager and also doing a lot of the marketing for their products. And at that same time, while I left DeWalt, I got involved with real estate. And I started off with buy and holds, bought a lot of buy and holds, couldn't find a property management group I wanted. People started coming to me for property management. We built systems from there. Now I have a property management company.
Let's get back to the work from home thing for a second, Mike, because I think that what I'm finding, and this isn't true for all jobs, right? But as some people that I know that have been able to run a real estate portfolio while they also hold down a full-time job, like my cousin is a computer programmer, okay? And he's able to work from home. And he manages a lot of real estate, owns a lot of real estate, and his employer's completely happy with him. They're giving him bonuses and raises. You know why? Because he's paid on productivity. He's not paid on hours, right? And so if you can get yourself, watchers, in a position where you are paid by your employer for productivity, right? And then on top of that, able to convince them to allow you to work from home, that equation can allow you to go and successfully build a business, because maybe your employer doesn't care as much if at 2 in the afternoon you're working on some real estate related stuff, as long as you meet your productivity parameters and your key performance indicators for your job. Is it fair to say that?
Absolutely. I mean, I iron out with my manager, hey, what are the goals? What do you need me to hit numbers wise? Yes. And then I destroy those numbers, and then that allows me to free up time to go do other things.
So being paid on productivity versus being paid by the hour. So that could be a sales related position. Are you selling, or? I'm selling and marketing. So. Okay. So sales and marketing, sales position. When I had my day job, I was a commission-based salesperson. So, I ate what I killed. And so if I was able to sell some of the product, then, I was able to, I met my sales goals and things like that. And if I was able to do that, to be straight, in like 30 hours a week, if I were able to figure out the systems and processes and the right customers to get in front of to make those numbers happen, right? Absolutely. Then I was able to spend those extra time building my business, right? Yeah. So huge lesson for you guys right there, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's that. Now get back to the real estate thing, because you touched on that, but let's get back to that. So when did you buy properties? You manage 65 units. Not all of them are yours. You manage some for other people, but a good swath of those portfolios is yours. So did you buy properties for yourself first, or did you start managing for others first?
So I bought for myself first. Okay. That's kind of bled into it.
Got it.
My first thing was a house hack. Duplex, Washington Township, New Jersey.
It's where he lives in the property.
Absolutely. I still live there today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
God bless.
I got it. Bought that FHA, like the bigger pocket story of house hacking is how I started.
Let's go through numbers on it real quick, right? Yeah. So you bought it for how much?
I bought it for $240.
$240. Yep. Okay. And what is the tenant paying you in rent?
$1,400.
$1,400.
Yeah.
Okay. I see where this is going. And you laid down 3%.
Yeah, 3.5%.
3.5%, right? So you got into it for, say, around 10 grand, give or take, right?
It was 11,542.
Around there, around $11,342. Okay, got it. All right, so the tenant's paying $1,400. What's your monthly payment?
I think I'm like all out of pocket, $625.
That's what you. That's what.
Yeah, me paying my pity and my insurance, taxes, and everything. About $600, $700 out out of pocket.
So your living expense is $600, and you get to live in a $250,000 duplex, right? So what's great about that, about that for Mike, is when he moves out, would you get 14 for your unit too? Are they identical?
I probably get $13.50 for that unit.
13. Okay, got it. So when he does move out, he'll cash flow positive, but he's able to live in a $1,315 value unit for $600 a month.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so killing it, number one. Slaying it. That was your first rental property. Now what do you got behind that?
Yeah, so I actually ended up wholesaling a few properties after that, but I didn't enjoy wholesaling. It wasn't a particular like of mine, but I did it to get capital. My next deal would actually be 10 units. So I buy 4 properties with 2 other partners of mine. So the next was with partnership. The guys that I found this partnership was through chemistry. I wholesaled them 2 of the other 4 wholesales I had done before that. We all hit it off together. They brought me into a deal. I bought 4 properties, a quadplex and 3 duplexes in Westville, New Jersey. And that would be my next deal after that.
Cool. So, okay, got it. Yeah. So there you are there, and so you own that. So you've scaled up. How did you get into management? Management of properties on top of your own stuff?
Yeah, so I was a fairly systems-oriented person for management, and I also had pretty good relationships with townships, which is important in the state of New Jersey, especially in South Jersey, where the townships are 5,000 people long. It's a lot of cousins and relatives and all that good stuff. Yeah. So we actually externally looked out for property managers, and I would ask them, and we all asked them questions. How do you get a CO in Gloucester City? That would be the question we'd ask them. And we were able to tell right away. They were like, nope. It was all transactional. No one knew how to do it the right way.
Well, most property managers I talk to are actually glorified realtors. Like they're real estate agents that think that they're doing property management, but they're really not. All they're really doing is showing the rental unit for you and charging you a rental fee plus a fee for putting a tenant in your unit. Yeah. And they happen to know a handyman over here, right? But they're very far not really truly property managers, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we started having people come to us saying, hey, can you help us with the CO? Can you help us out with this? Additionally, my partner, he's almost a brother to me now, Drew Side, who co-owns TerraVestra Property Management, he had a cleanout business. He had 23 maintenance guys there. And so if you look at us, we're the property management company that understands the end stream. We have maintenance guys that work for us full time. We have a dumpster company, Platinum Disposal, that we have dumpsters at any given time. Plus, we understand how to manage the units themselves because we're landlords. So we've got all the gritty parts of property management mastered down in South
Most
Jersey.
property managers don't have the gritty part mastered, but you guys started the gritty part, and then you did. And the easy part is the collection of rent and the showing and everything like that. I mean, what's easy about collection of rent? I mean, it's still hard, but the gritty part is the maintenance side of it, having good labor that shows up and does your work orders for you, and processing stuff. The construction side of property management, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, great. So give me more of the systemization of your business, because you've got to be able to. You can't put 40, 50, 60 hours a week into your property management business. You get a full-time day job, right? Yeah. So for those watching that want to learn how they can build, like give us some nuggets for those guys, for those folks watching that want to learn how they can build some sort of real estate business, what's a property management company, whatnot. How can they do this while they've still got a full-time day job?
Yeah, so my first advice would be hire for the future, not for the now. I have full-time employees that work for me, and when times are bad, I use my 9-to-5 salary to pay for their salaries. Yeah. And so we hired them in a way that we're going to train you step by step by step. I mean, through the process so that you know how to handle this. Instead of just us being, the knowledgeable ones, we're trying to teach it proliferated so that they understand it. Now, in terms of systems, like the actual gritty systems, we use AppFolio is a big one to use. They're very famous. Also on the maintenance side, PPW is another big one to handle maintenance work. So that's pretty much when we do, since we're familiar with bank work, let's say your guys have cell phones on them all the time. Yeah. For a bank job, you might have to do 200 pictures for a job. Sure. Everything's time stamped. You know exactly when they walk inside the job site, when they walk back out. Yep. So you have full recollection of the maintenance work at any given time, and you can just pull it out. And I'm not an expert at PPW. My partner is, but that's something that's helped us out because at any given time,
it's like a timesheet tracking. Like you can look in it's almost like a modern stamp the clock kind of thing.
Yes, right? And then it allows you to put all the notes and it more collected. It's more contractor friendly.
Yes.
Let's say Appfolio is.
Yeah. No, I get, yeah, you're right. I get that because we used to use Appfolio as well. Appfolio is a great product, and you guys should all consider it if you're considering running a property management company. But it is limited in some ways, and it's not as designed for contractors as it is designed. It's primarily an accounting and marketing product. You know, and it's not really designed for running the contractor side of the business. So,
absolutely.
Cool. All right. So, any other tools and tips you can give? Like, so let's say somebody watching right now has a full-time day job. They've perhaps been able to transition. Like, let's give a hypothetical scenario, right? Somebody watching full-time day job, but they've been able to transition themselves into a production-based compensation. So they're not hourly. They're maybe able to negotiate a work-from-home arrangement. They don't have any rentals or maybe a small amount of rentals. They're looking to scale up and get some real estate stuff going. What advice would you give that person right now?
All right. So let's say if you're just trying to get in and you get into that you're in that production work environment, I go buy rentals first before you get into property management. I've seen it a couple of times like, oh, we'll start as a property management company that'll do rentals. I think you gotta get the other way. You gotta know the rental and how to operate it. And I'd start with doing either the single family houses or duplexes. I mean, I only have one single family house in my portfolio. I've got mainly duplexes, but and triplexes. I would start and just acquire something using an FHA loan, or try just going, go
to house hack too. Like try house hack. If you're renting right now, I tell anybody that's renting and that doesn't have, if your spouse or your kid arrangement doesn't work for a house hack, then I get it. Then don't do it. But if you're able to enroll your spouse and make it work with your kid, the arrangement you have with your kids to live in a rental property, a house hack is by far the best way to do it, and that's what you did.
Yeah. Another idea is if your property's large enough, put storage on your property. Go to C-Box and buy a crate, regrade the soil, get $350 off the storage, and test the water that way.
Yeah.
You're not having tenants. You're getting something a little bit
more passive. You're an
outside-the-box
thinker, man. I love that. Cool. Great. So if people want to hear, to bring it home, let me just summarize everything. Right. You talked about Appfolio. You talked about the whole. I think it's a great nugget about just production-based compensation. And let's see, what was the PPW? Check that out as well, guys. And so any other nuggets you want to give anybody else, or anything you want to give them to take it home here?
If you're going to be a property manager, I highly suggest getting integrated into the community.
Yes,
that's a huge thing for especially
you touched on that earlier.
Yeah, that care about the towns that you have to do CO process with or get licenses. Become integrated and build a reputation there, because once you build a positive reputation there, it's going to be easier to go through the process, and they're going to trust you, and then they're going to work with you when you run into problems and where there's potential opportunities that towns come across and they foreclose on other landlords. Who are they going to go to?
Yeah. Right, they're going to come to you, and I think that not every town, not every area in the world is like New Jersey.
Correct.
I mean, good for you guys. You're not like New Jersey, but New Jersey is interesting in the fact that it's a bunch of small municipalities, and so you can drive 5 miles, and the township laws and who governs that little fiefdom completely change.
Absolutely.
And the code laws change, and what it takes to get a CO changes and everything like that. And that's not only limited to New Jersey, but it does play, even if you're in wherever it is, Alabama, there's going to be county-wide rules and everything like that. Wherever you are, there's going to be local municipal rules, whether that's a large county or the whole state or whatever it is. It pays as a PM or even as a landlord to get to know what those rules are, because you don't want to get painted with the brush of being that landlord or the owner or the property manager that's out there avoiding avoiding the rules, not getting the COs, cutting corners and stuff like that, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Great. So people want to hear more about you. They want to catch up with you. Want to get some more advice or talk to you about your property management company, whatever. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, our website is www.terravestrapropertymanagement.com, and my email is mbonadies@tvpm.info.
How do you spell Bonadies?
Bonadies is spelled Bonadies.
Okay, cool. So you can hit up Mike Bonadies, and I'll also put some information on Mike in the description on this video so they can hit you. Yeah, cool.
Thanks,
Mike, thank you for coming, man. Cool.
Appreciate
Good
it.
stuff, guys. You do not have to be a full-time real estate investor to be successful in this business. It's a perfect example of it. Looking forward to seeing here where Mike Bonadies goes in this thing. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great profitable week.